What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Sisters, One Book. I'm Carla.
And I'm Amanda. Why did you say it like that?
Because it was different. You know, I try to change it up when I can. Those were some crazy chapters. Wow. What did you think of
No, for
those?
reals. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That went twisted for a second. Freaking
Went
Ava.
twisted. I know.
Ava.
I told you she didn't really feel the pee. I told you. And I think, well, I'll get to it later.
Okay. Okay. So we left off with meeting Ava, who clearly Carla could not stand. With those opening chapters where we have Alyssa, we finally found out what Alyssa's plans was and everything for the queen. But that whole scenario after that whole situation go down and the king got crazy, I can't wait to get to that part. Okay, so is that what you expected from Alyssa, from what happened? From her not dragging, but inviting the king into the secret room?
Not at all. I was not expecting her to tell the queen to go and spy on the king. Um, because I had the same, I think, I guess, outcome as what Alyssa was thinking was this could go really bad or it could be really good. But I felt like the consequences of how bad it could get would have trumped her thoughts in that plan, which clearly it didn't because she clearly went with it anyways.
Yes.
But no, I did not expect that. Of course, I was still rooting for her saying that she felt uncomfortable in her sleep. I really want that pee to be exposed, and I was really hoping that was a thing, even though I knew that was going to be far-fetched because we still have a lot more to get into in the story. But no, I did not expect that. What about you?
Not at all. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, a blast to the past, having that type of date thing going on. But the fact that she's all like, we could go into the secret room and spy. One, the queen was a little childish in that situation. And two, I kind of figured they both have a completely misunderstanding of each other. The queen backed
Mm-hmm.
away because she thought she wasn't good enough. And the king's like, what the heck is happening? Like, why are you like withdrawing from me? So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like either those two
Yeah.
need to sit down and have a real conversation.
They need therapy.
They do. Figure yourself
Yeah.
out.
We did get
So,
a really big outside look into what the problems are. And I think in a way it's like we're the therapist listening in because we've heard both sides. As is Alyssa, right? But
mhm.
we know that the king is like, oh, I just wanted her to feel involved. So I kept asking for her opinion on things. And then on the other end of it, the queen is like, well, I just don't feel worthy and I don't feel like I belong and I don't it's a whole problem all in itself, and I feel like a lot of this could have been resolved have they communicated to each other, which clearly they haven't been. But I did feel like the queen kind of acted really immature in that whole thing. I
Mhm.
mean, kind of throwing Alyssa under the bus, and then Alyssa just gets carried off by the
The
guards. I was
gods.
like, where is the queen? Why didn't she say like, no, this, don't blame Alyssa? Like, no, she full on left. She's like, bye. Like,
She stormed out of there like not even looking
hmm
back or anything. So yeah,
but
no.
my conversation with him was interesting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we see the queen not wanting to ruin it for Max, but I feel like she's ruining it for Max by pushing on this princess on him and everything. But I felt like after hearing all that, she should have talked to both of them. Clearly, she could tell. Like, if she was really listening, she could tell Max did not want to get married to this lady at all. And even the
hmm
king was all like, I can't, this is the first time your mother has ever asked for anything in 20 years. I'm not telling her no. So I have to go with it. And I was
Yeah.
just like, this is your opportunity to talk to them and tell them exactly how you're feeling. Like, but she just stormed out. So I was just like, "Ugh, get back
Yeah.
over here right now."
Yeah. It was interesting because you can see Max is kind of in a bad position. I mean, I understand now, obviously, the mistake that the mother was telling the fairy godmother is I think she just doesn't feel worthy of being the queen. She doesn't believe that she was deserving of it. And she thinks that all the problems that were occurring were due to the fact that she married the king when she's not really somebody who would normally marry a king. But really, I think all the problems stem from the fact that her confidence in herself is lacking drastically. And so now she's kind of forcing her son to do something totally opposite. She's like, well, you need to marry a princess. I'm not going to allow you to do the same thing that your father did. And now look what happened. So it's like kind of her way, I think, of saying, you know, I'm not worthy. And I don't want you to be with someone who's not worthy. But really, what she's missing completely is that it's supposed to be true love that helps keep the kingdom going. And I think that's the biggest factor that the queen is missing, is that Max won't really be truly in love with these princesses that she thinks are worthy of him.
Yeah. Especially since she kind of did it to herself if she was standoffish. Like she should have stood by her husband's side. She every time he invited her to do something or be involved in something, she should have instead of disappearing, she should have took him up on that. But I'm hoping that they explain it down the line a little bit more and they kind of work their situation out. But
Hmm.
the king was pissed when he found Alyssa. Like, girl, my heart was
Yeah.
pounding for her. I was like, oh my gosh. He's all like, guards. I'm like, off with her head.
Well, and if you think about it from the king's perspective, I can understand why he would. I mean, he's already looking for somebody who is betraying him and the kingdom. And here he has Alyssa, who just happens to be, I mean, we know her intentions were good, but she's coming out of the closet in a way with the queen, or what is it, the she's coming out of the hidden room with the queen. The queen is now furious, and it's like it almost does look like she's trying to put a divide between the king and the queen, when obviously we know her intentions were not that. She wanted the queen to see that, you know, the king does love you, and you just need to hear it out of his own mouth, which again goes back to they probably need therapy.
Get it together. Yes, no. And then the guards come and take her away and she's like going down to the dungeon cellar and then we see that one character, what was his name? Who was kind of crazy. He like wanted
Matthias, Matthias, I think. Matthias.
yeah, he was being a little he's like, "I'll take it from here." And I was just like, "No, you will not take it from there." Like I was yelling at the Kindle. Like the Kindle could hear me. But
Well, it's like you have these two guards who are like, oh, we're going to take her to the dungeons. And this, what, Matthias guy is like, you hold on there, guys. I'll take it from here, which I mean, it was kind of obvious what his intentions were. Like, I'm pretty sure the two guards can handle taking her to the dungeons. Why do you need to interject, if only to take her somewhere else completely? Because as we know, he was working with Claude, or Claude's, um, the people Claude was working for. So, like, what were they going to do with her? Because we know that Alyssa knows about the whole Claude situation. So it's kind of like,
Mhm.
what was going to happen there? What were you going to do with Alyssa?
Briber, you want some gold? You want out of this situation? Tell me everything. Maybe. I don't know.
I didn't think about it like that. That's interesting.
Yeah. I have no idea if that's what was really going down or something bad could have happened, but we do see our prince in shining armor come and save her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That was nice. Of course he was going to save her. Of course.
I
Was
know.
Nikki in the hallways because the rumors of her getting dragged down to the dungeon spread super fast if you ask. And he was like, "Bam, I'm right here. I'm
I
ready
know.
for
We see
this."
Nikki in the corner in the back, like
She's
peering
dusting.
in.
Doo.
She's like, gets her walkie-talkie out, like, Max, you're in, you're on. Come on. Like,
They stolen the eagle. Go, go, go. Just kidding. No, that was a really sweet scene. I was like, my heart was pounding the whole time because I wasn't expecting that at all. That was like a total like whirlwind for me. And the fact that
hmm.
Max, I was like, when she's like a familiar voice, I was like, oh my gosh, thank God.
Well, because I was kind of thinking at some point the other side was going to get a hold of Alyssa. Um, I just didn't know how. And so in my mind, when I was reading it, I'm like, oh no, is this when they're gonna take Alyssa? But then Max comes in, and I feel like we're seeing a lot about with Max, like he's not like this naive guy who doesn't know what's going on, and he's just like, well, I'm gonna go marry this princess. Like, he knows there is something going on, and I gotta give it to the guy. He's kind of smart. and he's there, and he's clearly
Yeah.
watching Alyssa because he's following her everywhere, and he knew exactly where to find her.
Oh my gosh, that was wild. Yeah, and then the whole after he like stormed back to his father with her and everything, he like takes her up to what is it? His favorite balcony spot.
Yeah.
Oh, why was that so like sad for me? Like, did your heart break for that? Like, he's all like, I love
Yeah.
you, but we can't be together. And then they kiss and he backs away. He turns around, he reaches out for her, and then he just drops his hand and walks away. I was like, no, take it, go back for her.
I felt it was a very interesting moment because we see that Max is now running out of time. His dad gave him like, you have days to figure this out, and then Max is like, days? He's like, okay, take a couple weeks.
If we could afford that. Oh my gosh, how
Right.
scary is that?
Right. And we see that Max is kind of realizing like he's being really drawn to Alyssa. He's really fallen in love with her. And he really just, I think he just knows like, if I can't be with her, I just need to know what it's like to be with her for just like 6 seconds. Like, I just need to know what it's like to kiss this woman and see what comes out of it. And also, probably to verify that her feelings are the same as his. And they get to this balcony, and it's like he's just like, I'm so tired of fighting this, and she's like, fighting what? And I'm like, Alyssa, come on, girl, you know what's coming, you know what's coming. And then all of a sudden he just kisses her, and I thought it was like the most romantic moment. It's almost like the moment when Cinderella's shoe fits, right? The kiss fits, like they are perfect for each other. And it was just sad because it's like they had this beautiful moment where they obviously were showing that they clearly love each other and want to be together, and then you just see these emotions fall in Max's face. Like, as he pulls back, he just kind of like drops, and he's just like, but we're never going to be able to be together. And it's really
Mhm.
sad because it's like he's willing to do anything to help his kingdom. He's fighting these emotions. It's like he knows his heart wants Alyssa, but his mind is going to what he thinks is best for his kingdom. And it I don't know. I'm just like, it makes me so sad. It's like, dude, just tell your mom and dad, I love Alyssa. And if anyone, we got a glimpse into it where his dad's like, and however, I don't know if it was 300 years or whatever, like, nope, they've all married a noble. They've never married somebody who wasn't part of royalty, but his dad did. So if anyone's going to
Uh-huh.
understand, it's going to be his dad and his mom.
And I think he did, but he's like standing firm on backing up his wife because that's her first request
Mhm.
in 20 years and he doesn't want to back down on it. So, which is really sweet on his part. And if the queen was really paying attention, she would have heard that part. Like, whatever. Oh,
I
childish
know.
people.
I know. And I was waiting to see him be like, but I'm in love with Alyssa. Like, when they had that conversation, then Alyssa would be in there with the queen, and the queen's like, what? And then she turns and she's like, tell me if you felt anything in that bed. I am waiting for the moment of the pee to be discovered with Alyssa and the queen. But I just, it's frustrating. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that we see that the queen is doing everything she can to save the kingdom, but if you think about it, in reality, she's actually doing everything against the kingdom without even realizing it.
Yeah. She's just making it worse. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
without realizing it. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. Oh gosh, man. But let's talk about some drama then, right? As we move on a little bit forward, as Max leaves, we could clearly tell that Alyssa's been up on the balcony for a couple of hours, like even past a couple of hours, because she's just waiting for, I think she's just in shock and everything. And then guess who she hears? Oh
Dun,
my
dun,
gosh.
dun.
She hears the Princess Ava and her Lieutenant Joran talking, and it turns out it's the same voice that she heard in the barn stalls with Claude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was a
Yeah.
little.
What was he doing there? Because I was like, where did he come from? Because
He
I would
was
think it's
working with
very,
her,
well, I
so now
know,
we
but
know
like,
that this is the kingdom that's trying. I feel like trying to take over our. The way I kind of read Princess Ava's part as she's talking to Joran was that she's trying to prove something to her dad because she was all like, my dad's not running the country, I am. So is
mm-hmm.
she doing this all behind her dad's back,
Yeah.
like without him
Well,
even knowing?
and her intentions are obviously like, she says, my dad wants me to do it the right way and get married. and that way we can take over. But her intentions are just to take over. So she just wants Arcadia, and she doesn't really care how she gets there. She's going in the direction that she's supposed to, because right now it seems like all the footsteps are leading her in that correct path where she knows, okay, I'm going to get engaged. It's not like one of those typical princess stories where we have another princess who's like, well, I'm deserving of the crown and I want to be with Max and I love him. She doesn't care about any of that. She just wants to rule Arcadia. She wants to almost be the top ruler. So she's like, I don't even care if I don't marry him. If anything, we'll go to war and it'll be a whole diplomatic problem. Like, it's going to cause all kinds of issues. So I think she sees her way there regardless, but it is a little bit different than I think what I would have pictured Princess Ava to want. Like, she seems a little bit more sneaky when it comes to the title of princess and queen.
She kind of seems like a little mini assassin in progress. Like,
Yeah.
girl, get it. You get it. If that's the way you got to do it, you get your kingdom. But
Yeah.
yeah, she was like, I guess her sweet voice was gone and she had more like a cold hatred voice on. So, yeah, no. So we see her whole colors just show right now like who she really is. But I thought it was very interesting how she has her men at the border, she has her men in the village. She wants Jerome to go into the forest and wait because he's gonna blow the entire cover. So
Yeah, can
clearly
we
the
talk about
kingdom
like her plan? Because like her plan seems like she's got this whole thing figured out.
on wraps. She's the one who is raiding the people. So, what does that
Hmm.
leave our aunt and our cousin at the Blue Inn?
Well, I mean, our theory can't be gone until the book's over, right? But I think,
No, no, I know. They're still working with her. They're getting the gold, hence why she's so rich. Um,
but they could also technically be working for Princess Ava as like, we will monitor the rebel people, like we're in charge of those people, we will make sure that everything is good. I think it's probably not going in the direction you and I thought, but you know what, that's what makes this whole thing fun, is that we
yeah,
will come up with fun theories whether they actually occur or they don't. But let's be honest, whenever any of us are reading a book, our mind goes to the possibilities of what could be happening. So we're just doing it live for everyone to hear what our thoughts are.
yeah. And it seems like Ava is pretty, she's going to attack within. There's a siege coming and she's going to totally attack within because she even said the Arcadia Kingdom is too weak with their kindness. Like, they're not even
Hmm.
going to know what's going to hit them next. So I was just like, she has been studying them. She knows exactly what she's doing. It's kind of scary to
Yeah.
watch, though, like how planned
Yeah.
out she is and prepared she is for this. So,
Yeah. She tells, what's his name? Jaren.
Jerome,
So she tells Joran, you need to go back to the forest. We know, this is where I was going to say earlier, where I had something that I was thinking about. We know that Joran was in the forest the whole, this whole conversation with Claude, because that's where they started walking out to. We know that she tells him, you need to go back to the forest. You need to be out there. Like, that's your place. You can't be here. You're going to compromise our whole situation. And then if we go back to that first chapter, remember we were
he's the
talking about this
creature
last
that
week?
was listening.
I think he was the creature that was listening. I think he was,
Hmm.
because it's all happening in the forest. So I think he's the one who went and, yep, overheard the conversation. He went back and told Princess Ava, you need to make sure that the most thing you need to do to win over the queen is by saying that you felt uncomfortable sleeping in your bed. Whether it made sense to Princess Ava or not, she's like, I'm going to do it. And obviously it worked out in her favor because they're supposed to announce an engagement.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see from there because she even said all she needs um is the king to announce it because even if they go back from the engagement, it's going to start a complete war. So she
Yeah.
just needs the announcement, and then her whole plan
Hmm.
is going to be rolling down from there. So
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
intense.
She even intends on having her people, what are they, the rebel people or something, in after all, they need the engagement to happen. Once the engagement happens, that's when she starts planting in her people to be ready for any situation that could happen, whether they back out or not. So she is, I mean, really, it is the engagement that's like her last piece that she needs plugged in.
Hmm. And it's so crazy. And then now we see Alyssa in the same situation as she was before, but this time she gets caught. Like, girl,
Yeah.
girl. Oh my gosh.
She's like, I'm starting to feel a cramp. I'm like, Alyssa, hold your cramps together. Okay.
But it
Like,
wasn't her fault. Somebody else made a noise.
yeah,
And
that's
Ava was
true.
all like, oh, no, don't worry about it. I'll go check it out. But Jerome was already past Alyssa. So when he turned around, boom, there's Alyssa. Girlfriend.
Yeah.
I feel like the second you heard of some of it, I would have left. I would have bounced. But she got what she needed.
Well, and if you think about it too, I started thinking, well, what's going to happen? Because she really needs the proof. Just hearing the conversation isn't really proof, especially for the king right now, because he's lost a lot of trust in Alyssa. It'd be one thing if she wasn't hiding in this secret room with the queen and got caught. But now the king has no trust for Alyssa at all. He's like, I don't trust you. I don't trust anything you're going to tell me. So it's like, even her just overhearing this conversation, I started thinking, like, how is this even going to help her? Because it's her word
Well,
against Princess Ava's.
yeah, but now that like all the king really has to do is send a scout out to the border in the forest and
Mm.
then go around from there. Once you see a bunch of people on the border, it's game over from there. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have so many people? You can't say it's to help you guard for the royal wedding. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It could be. Or he could also, too, be like, well, I mean, if I do that and you're wrong, that could cause a lot of problems between the alliance. So he really does have to have a lot of this trust in Alyssa. And I mean, it didn't work out in that direction, anyways, because obviously Alyssa got caught, so it didn't really matter that she couldn't go back and tell the king what was happening. But yeah, that was running through my mind as I was reading this. I'm like, this is where you need a cell phone, Alyssa, and you need to pull out your iPhone and you need to
Record,
record the
TikTok.
conversation. Yeah, like go live, like just whatever, get it out
Jeez,
there. But
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that was.
no, she gets tied up, gagged, and thrown in a closet wardrobe. She gets thrown in a wardrobe. And then on
Hmm.
top of that, she goes, "Oh, don't worry, my captain is my person sleeping next to me in the next room. So you can make all the noise you want. No one's gonna come get you." I was like, no, Alyssa, how's she gonna get out of this? So
I know.
geez, that was such an intense scene too, just to watch her struggle getting out of this wardrobe. I was like, the whole time, jump out of that freaking window. Don't
Hmm.
even hop around the room like an idiot. Just jump.
Well, and I was also thinking, like, where are the princesses? Where are the twin princesses? You think that if they haven't seen Alyssa, that they would be like going back to their brother and basically telling Max, like, we don't know where Alyssa is. Alyssa isn't here. And then Alyssa, Max then, of course, is going to probably go search. And I was wondering what was going to happen. Even Alyssa was wondering it. Like, what happens if I don't show up? And he goes down to the Blue Inn and I'm not there, and then my family starts to worry. Like, I almost feel like it would probably try to put some type of a halt on this announcement, knowing that Alyssa is nowhere to be found. But you know who
Unless
knows.
Ava was all like, "Oh, she left. She didn't want to be here. She abandoned," or some crazy story.
Yeah.
But we do see our girl make it out. It took only like what, the whole day or something, or the next day. I don't know. She did say when she got out of the wardrobe, she saw a glimpse of daylight still. So I took that as the sun
Yeah.
was going down.
Yeah, because I think Princess Ava said that she wasn't leaving her room until right before the ball with the announcement. So she told the king and everyone, I'm going to be in my room. I have a lot of preparation I need to do, because she didn't want to leave. And really, that only gave Alyssa a very small window. Like, once the
Hmm.
princess leaves, you have a very small window to be able to get out of that room, somehow finagle your way down to where this is going. And I'm sorry, can I just say, I love that she went and like took a bath or whatever she did and got all pretty and ready to go. I was like,
The
she would.
fastest wash up ever, she said. I was like, you get it, girl. You get it. But Corin left her the most beautiful dress that I imagined. So I imagine it just covering it from her chest down. Her shoulders were all exposed and everything. And it was a really pretty white lace dress with a red bow. So once again, as we're referencing the Ever After movie, when uh what's her name? Uh
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, when Drew Barrymore is thrown into the cell, and then we see Da Vinci taking her out, giving her the most beautiful dress. She walks into the ballroom, all eyes on her, and Prince Henry just runs up to her and he's like, walking, look, I invited the gypsies. Look, I invited these people. And then we have Max doing the same thing, not like inviting people, but he's the first one up to greet her and he takes her hand. And I was
Hmm.
just like,
Yeah.
that's what
Max
happens in the
leaves Ava and runs to her.
yeah, and guess what? The king announces the engagement.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where
And
we
you
left
see,
ourselves. That is where we
yeah.
left ourselves off.
Yeah. Well,
What?
because you see that the king, Max is standing at the dais or whatever with his father, the king, and then he's got Princess Ava next to him. So you know the announcement's coming. And then you see like it's just like you said, like she just barges in. It's like, oh, like they all look,
Yeah,
and
all
she's
eyes
just
on
like, oh,
her.
all eyes are on me. And then Max leaves the dais or whatever, and he goes down to Alyssa and like puts her hands on his heart. So clearly, if you're like an outsider looking in, I take that as you just left the girl who you're supposed to be marrying up there to come down to her, and you're like holding her hands, like, where have you been? Like, that doesn't look good for an engagement. That's not going to be
Yeah.
with that girl. So it was clearly very interesting. But then you see, yeah, Princess Ava's like, speed it up, tell the king, like, announce it, make the announcement, because once it's announced, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I hope Alyssa's able to say something. I hope Max believes her, and I truly deep down hope that the king believes her too.
I think
So,
Max is going to believe her, and I think he will, because he believed her even when he confronted his own father and was like,
mhm.
about the whole Alyssa hiding in the secret room with his mother. And his dad's like, she was spying. She was listening to our whole conversation. And even though, yes, Max looked at Alyssa and was like, is that true? She explained herself, and he immediately, without hesitation, believed a word she said. And
Yeah.
she does tell Max, like, you can't marry her. She's responsible for all of those rebel attacks. And yeah, I think he's gonna believe her. I think the king might be a little harder to persuade, but I do think that Max will believe her. And I do think there's going to be some interesting things coming up in the next few chapters. And I'm excited to read it.
Yeah, and that brings us back now. I forgot to mention it, so I'll mention it right now. When Alyssa was getting taken to the prison or the dungeon or whatever, remember that guy was all like, you could have you could have your laugh now, but you're not always, or whenever you're not in charge. What did he say? Like, you're in charge now, but I'll have the last laugh soon. I was like, what the heck does that mean? And now I totally
Yeah.
understand because he's working with Ava. Ava's taking over. So
Hmm.
this is going to be interesting to see what unfolds.
Well, and
So,
it makes you wonder, like, what are Ava's intentions with Max when she becomes, quote unquote, the new queen? Like, what, because I mean, technically you're ruling together. And I think it's safe to say that the king is usually going to be kind of the ruler and the queen is ruled next to him. So if it's going to be her and Max ruling together, how much more of a say will she have over him? Does that make sense?
she's going to poison. Hopefully, this doesn't happen because I feel like our book is coming to an end. But if there was like a long, extended, dark version of this book, it would be she poisoned him. Oh, I'm so sorry, my people. Our king is so sick, but he left me in charge and everything. And that's how it's
Hmm.
going to end.
Yeah.
But hopefully, yeah.
That's why I feel like her intentions, like, if he's not in love with her, like the king is with the queen currently, because even though there's this whole thing of, oh, the king doesn't love me and da da da, well, clearly he loves you because he's been trying to get you to take part in a lot of the decision making. You just don't feel worthy, and so you're not putting your input in, you're more pulling back and running away. So when it comes down to Max, it's like, if he was truly in love with Princess Ava, he might kind of follow in those same footsteps where he's like, oh, what kind of things do you think we should do for our people and blah 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 blah. But he's not really in love with her, I don't think.
Hmm.
So
No.
there's going, well, I mean, obviously I don't believe he's in love with her. He's in love with Alyssa, but I do think that's going to come down to play if their story was to continue, is she would have to do something in order to take charge, because she's not going to take charge over Max. Max is going to be the one to rule.
Yeah. It's just going to be exciting to find out. Dun, dun, dun. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's our next chapters to read?
Ooh. So next we are going into, because that finishes off for part 2. So now we are going into part 3 of the book, which is our final part of this series. And yeah, we're going to read the 2 bonus chapters. So that is the princess and the prince. And then we're going to read 29 and 30. So we're going to read 4 chapters in total, including those 2 bonus chapters. So if you're reading along with us, you're going to want to stop after chapter 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any predictions? Do you have any predictions on what's to come?
Well, okay, this is what I want to happen. Okay. I want the prince to explain his side. I want Alyssa to be able to explain herself. Ava gets arrested, and the engagement is going to be for Alyssa and Max.
Okay.
But I
like
really
that.
want to see Ava get taken down.
Yeah, no, I do too. I know. I'm kind of on the same boat. I want to see, I really would like to see Max push against these wishes that, well, okay, let's just be honest. I want the damn pea to be discovered. I have been waiting the entire book. I just want this pea to be discovered and us to just know that all along it's been Alyssa. I really would like to know a little bit more about our theories and the whole situation with this person who was spying in the beginning. I'd like to have our suspicions confirmed that it was this guy. But really, I just want my pea to be discovered.
Nice. I hope that comes true for you.
I know. And I do want to see Alyssa and Max together, obviously. And I'd like to see Ava just kicked out. I want Ava to be exposed. I want all of her plans to be exposed. And I think it's safe to say that something like that's going to happen.
Yes.
So,
All right.
well, I guess we better get to reading. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we end this episode?
No, but we love you.
Yes, we do. Okay, so make sure you guys continue reading along with us. According to what we're reading, we will have 2 more episodes left of The Princess Companion. So can't wait for that. If you're not already, make sure you're following us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, make sure to subscribe. That way you can get the latest episode right to your streaming platform. Also, make sure you guys leave a comment, like, share it with a friend. It helps kind of push this podcast out a little bit further. If you're watching us on YouTube, same thing. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend. And also, we'd like to see who's listening. So maybe like take a screenshot of wherever you're listening from, whether you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple, or you're listening to us on YouTube, and post it to your social media and tag us, because we'd like to see where you guys are listening. We've been really overwhelmed with the amount of people who are enjoying listening to us. And yeah, something that started with just Amanda and I wanting to discuss turned into something really fun that we can share with a lot of people. So yes, make sure you guys are doing that. But other than that, I guess we'll see you guys on the next episode. Happy reading. Bye.
Bye.